Once you're all done using the telescope, you can begin the shutdown process by closing any unnecessary tabs and by warming up the CCD to a temperature near the ambient temperature given by the weather station window. In our case, the ambient temperature is about 19 degrees Celsius, so we'll set the target temperature for the CCD to about 16 to 17 degrees Celsius. While that warms up in the background, we can move on to closing the mirror cover. With the mirror cover closed, head over to the SLU telescope window and unlink the dome from the main optical axis. Once unlinked from the dome, you can then select the Z icon in the bottom right of the window to slew the telescope to its home position at zenith. Once idle is displayed at the bottom of the window, you can then move on to closing the dome. In the dome window, select the fully closed dome icon and wait for the dome to finish closing. Once fully closed, you can move the dome to its home position by selecting the house icon in the mid to bottom right of the window. The dome's home position is at azimuth of 128 degrees. With the dome homed, you simply need to wait for the CCD to reach its target temperature until you continue. Once the CCD has reached its target temperature, you can close the ACE connector client. Either unminimize or open a new browser tab and open the 0.6 meter telescope power switch bookmark link. Unlike starting up the telescope, all we need to do here is simply switch off the Outlet 1 fork arm and double check that the other fork arms and both recycle controllers are the only other items switched off. You can then close this tab and open a new tab and move on to the CWU telescope logout form. You will also want to open the bookmarked Clear Sky Chart link, as it will be necessary to fill out the logout form. The logout form will ask you to fill out a variety of observing conditions that can be found on the Clear Sky Chart page by hovering over each condition and time's respective square. Our first condition is the cloud coverage while observing. Going over to the Clear Sky Chart and hovering over today's 9 o'clock cloud covering square, it shows me that the cloud covering was clear. We select the 0% clear option and move on to seeing. Hovering over the 9 o'clock seeing square, we get that the seeing was average. We select the average option, and for transparency, we see that it was above average. Since it was greater than average, we will report it as good. And finally, for temperature, we see that it is 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, which we will select. We did open the roof, so we do not need to select this, and our only equipment used was the CCD imaging camera. Once the logout form is submitted, you can now close any remaining tabs and shut down the computer.